so much for this opportunity to present this short study of 14 cases. I do not have any disclaimer or any conflict of interest, and I acknowledge this procedure to my mentor, Dr. Sameer Dalvi, from whom we have learned this procedure and been able to do it now. So let's see this case of a 70-year-old male with progressive paraplegia was fixed, but over a period of time, this fixation failed, and that led to a new neurological deficit along with instability and needed a much bigger surgery to revise. So the problem in osteoporotic fractures is the weak bones and the lack of anterior column support, which sort of precludes these things to the failure. Now the treatment options for these can be a vertebroplasty with a pedicle screw fixation. You just do a standalone fixation, it is bound to fail. Or you do an anterior reconstruction with posterior fixation, which is a more morbid surgery where you have to take a bigger section, 2 discs, vertebral body, and the lower disc out, and then replace it by a cage. So the aim of this was to evaluate the role of intravertebral cage augmentation in osteoporotic vertebral fractures with instability, neurological deficit. So we included 14 patients who had completed 2 years of follow-up, and the criteria were central vertebral body lesions without significant combination of end plates. All these patients underwent detailed investigations, including X-rays, MRI, CT scan, bone density, and medical workup for osteoporosis, and tests to rule out other pathological reasons. The mean age, as expected, was elderly, 66.7 years. Females dominated this study. Considering osteoporosis is more common in females, this was expected. The most common level involved was D12, followed by L1, and then by D11. So the neurological recovery of the patients, most patients were in Asia C and D group, and they sort of improved by 1 or 2 grades, and most of them had good recovery, and they became ambulatory either with or without support. Intravertebral fusion was seen in all cases at 24 months. There was no evidence of implant loosening. Anti-osteoporotic therapy was initiated in all patients. They were treatment naive, and teriparatide was given for 2 years, followed by anti-resorptives. The mean preoperative Cobb angle was 24 degrees, range 10 to 37, which was immediately corrected to 4.7 degrees mean, and it was maintained at 2 years follow-up. There was no increase in kyphosis, although there was a bit of increase in vertical height, but without any implant loosening or any kyphosis. So these are the case examples: a 73-year-old female with fall and neurological deficit, and also Parkinsonism. Now these present a typical challenge. They have a tendency to stoop forward, and they have a tendency to go into kyphosis. So this lady underwent this procedure, intravertebral cage placement, and at 2 years we can see it is well maintained. There is a bit of sort of vertical compression, but it is well maintained, the angulation is well maintained, and there is no implant loosening. Another case of vertebral fractures, I beg your pardon for these X-rays are not very clear, but the MRI clearly shows a conus injury along with the fracture, and this again was reconstructed using a TLIF cage. On the right side there was combination, so we used the left side, and we packed the anterior vertebral body with the bone graft before we insert this cage, as you would do in a TLIF. And at 24 months, we can see well preserved and the fracture has healed. Another lady with significant compression, when this lady was placed on the bolster, this opened up significantly, and we were able to place an intra-body cage in this one. Another case, similar intra-body cage with a slight pincer effect, and this cage is able to stabilize it across the fracture on both sides. So the contraindications were infections and pathological fractures were ruled out. Combination of both end plates on both sides we did not do, and in certain pincer fractures we could do this. So why is this procedure better is because instead of taking a vertebral body in 2 disc spaces, this is less morbid. It immediately provides an anterior column support. Done from all posterior approach, you can even do it minimal invasive if you're sure of your decompression. The transpedicular biopsy can also be done at the same time. There is no need for any bone graft, and it gives a long-term stability. Thank you very much.